Hi, boys and girls. This week in math, we're going to be learning about 2D shapes. 2D means two-dimensional or flat shapes. In school, we would use pattern blocks a lot to practice this unit, so I encourage you to use the virtual pattern blocks that I have linked here. They're also on our website. It looks like this. You can pull shapes, put them together. You can have it choose a template and use the pattern blocks to try to make the picture. It's just a fun way to practice using the shapes. So I highly recommend that website. I'm going to go back to our newsletter for the week. This Google Doc is what I'm going to be going over. It's linked here. There's also a lot of videos, songs, and books for this unit. Since we can't be in class together actually touching the shapes, I really want you to be looking for these shapes in your house. Do you notice what shape a book is? Your TV screen, things outside. Look for these shapes, and you can even make them with paper so that you can hold them in your hands. That's really important so that you understand the different attributes that these shapes have, which we'll talk about. But look at all this. Here's a video. All these are books on Epic. These are videos on Epic. This is one of my favorite math books, The Greedy Triangle. And then there's activities on Seesaw to practice, and even a STEM menu. You can also watch the Plane Shapes video on BrainPop. So I'm going to go back to this Google Doc that I was talking about. Remember, it's linked right here. And this is what we're going to be focusing on with 2D shapes this week. We're going to be describing them with defining attributes. Now, defining attributes is just a fancy way of saying things that describe the shape that never change, okay? So there's a chart right here that helps you understand. The defining attributes are things that are always the same. So for example, you remember a lot of these shapes from kindergarten. A rectangle. How many sides does a rectangle have? Well, it has 4 sides. 2 of the sides, the opposite sides are always the same length. So this side and this side are the same, this side and this side are the same. 4 sides and 4 corners that are square. No matter what color, size, or pattern it is, that is what makes it a rectangle. So when we describe rectangles using defining attributes, we're describing it based on things that do not change. If I were to say that rectangles are always purple, that would not be true. That's because color is non-defining. A rectangle can be any color, and as long as it has 4 sides and 4 corners and opposite sides that are equal length, it's still a rectangle. The same thing with a triangle. As long as it's a flat shape with 3 straight sides, it is a triangle. It doesn't matter what color it is or what size it is. Okay? So when you're describing shapes this week, I really want you to focus on the defining attributes, the things that do not change. Now, I've put some charts below. These were created by other teachers because I don't have my chart paper at home, but these shapes have some attributes on here. We won't learn about all of these shapes, but it's good to have them be exposed to them because in 2nd grade you'll get to learn about new shapes. So even though we won't focus on all of these, it's still good to see them. So you can look circle, square, rhombus, trapezoid, hexagon, and you'll recognize a lot of these from the pattern blocks that you use during math centers. And we did a turkey activity right before Miss White went on maternity leave that we made turkeys with pattern blocks. So you should be familiar with these. I really just want you to focus on using defining attributes. So again, a square, its attributes that are defining are that it has 4 sides and 4 corners, and all 4 sides are the same, right? And the corners are square. Same, there's a row for triangle, circle, rectangle, rhombus, ellipse, and hexagon. In 1st grade, we focus on these shapes: triangles, rectangles, squares, trapezoids, hexagons, and circles. So you should be able to draw each of those shapes. And if you see it, you should be able to say, oh, that's a square, or oh, that's a hexagon. I want you to look at these charts before you do the seesaw activities and really think about what defining attributes each of these shapes has, okay? I hope this helps you understand what we're learning about 2D shapes. If you have questions, I'm happy to do a Google Meet with you or to call you on the phone to help explain, okay? Reach out if you need me, and I hope you enjoy this unit.